Nope.
What is up, you guys? I'm James from Reptiles. In today's video, we're going to be doing some updates around the reptile room, but we're really going to focus on projects that I'm excited for this next year or possibly into 2022, stuff that I'm growing up, stuff that I'm raising up, stuff that I'm just really excited for and that's almost ready to breed, or maybe it already started and I can't wait to start seeing some progress with these projects. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. So first up, we have two crested geckos. Now these are two projects I already have. I have a pinstripe group, pinstripe quadstripe group, and a Dalmatian group. So now if you know my pinstripe group, it's not very great at the moment, but it's about to get a lot better. This is a female, and she's about 28 grams, if I had to take a guess since the last time I weighed her. But she will be breeding probably in like 2 or 3 months. And she will hopefully really help that group out. Now the key plan for her is to keep the first couple babies. I really need to produce some nice quad stripes. I need to replace the stuff that's in there, so I need to produce nice ones so I can replace them. So she's really the key for that. This girl right here, well, hoping it's a girl, but if it's a male, I'll probably still end up using it because it's much nicer than my male. Now this is a patternless yellow with Dalmatian spots. Now there's a couple little red spots on there, but in my opinion, from what I've seen, patternless yellow is the best base for Dalmatians. That's what people want to see, is they want to see patternless yellow Dalmatians. Now this gecko actually started out really dark. I thought it was going to be red, and so to see it yellow is definitely interesting, but here it is. Very nice, growing into much more spottage than it had. Now it's not crazy amounts of spots, but it's definitely nice for what I have, and I really can't wait to see this project just slowly get better and better. And you know, as it gets better, I can charge more, and as I charge more, I can get nicer animals. So definitely all around just cycles and cycles and cycles. Sticking with the crested gecko theme, this is my female lily white. She is in here breeding. If I had to take a guess, I would say that she is gravid. So I would think it's just a matter of time before she lays eggs. Potentially, I'd like to keep another lily white right away. It does depend. There's a chance I'd sell it right away. Just, you know, because if you know, I spent $1,000 on this animal when I got it as a baby. Lily whites were very, very popular at the time, and it did decrease in value a little bit. I think they're between $500 to $800 right now. $1,000 was more on the low end when I bought it. So I would like to see some substantial return from this animal sooner rather than later, though it does make sense to keep a baby, so I have two producing. It kind of depends, you know, if the animal comes out really nice, I'll keep it. If it comes out really ugly, I'll end up selling it before I keep one. But you know, there's always a possibility the first clutch has 0 lily whites. There's always a possibility 2 come out lily whites. So we'll see. But this girl definitely can't wait. She should be laying eggs anytime now. And if you want to see the male that she's with, in my personal opinion, a lily white, her with this male is just gonna look spectacular. So here he is. So he's, like, look at him. He's super gray, super light, lots of cream, and just look at the head structure on this guy. It's just massive, absolutely massive. So this is definitely a pair that I can't wait to get eggs from. So this is my pair of tiger crested. So this is my pair of tiger crested geckos. Of course, he's pooping on me, and of course this little one, obviously very, very nice compared to that one. But you know, you gotta take the good with the bad. I'm hoping that really nice one is a boy, and this one definitely starting to look like a girl, which would be awesome. Obviously, worst case scenario, I produce 2 boys. I'd sell this one and keep the other one, get some more, get at least 1 female and start producing them. But this project I can't wait for, just because it is one I've been kind of waiting on for a while. You can see they're definitely growing in size, but they do have a ways to go. And I just can't wait to produce some awesome tigers, because honestly, besides the big breeders like Pangea, and I'm sure Tiki's Geckos has a line, not many people are producing really awesome tiger crested geckos, and I think there's room for me in that market. There's definitely plenty of room, and I think I can really get in there and nestle myself in the tiger crested gecko market, and I can't wait to prove that. Now this tank right here is just kind of a quick little setup. Try not to squish this guy right here. If you watched the last video, you'll know that I bought 5 red baby crested geckos, and I had this huge piece of cork bark, some fake plants, a couple of food and water dishes, and I threw them all in here. Now I do have extra ledges. I do need to throw, I'll probably throw a ledge on each side, and then probably still put a water dish at the bottom. But right now there's 5 baby crested geckos in here, all from extremely red parents. There's one up above right there, one down below. That's 4 of them. 5th one's probably on the other side of the cork. So these guys are from extremely red parents, and the goal with this project is to keep all 5, grow all 5 up, and kind of hand cherry pick, you know, at least a pair, hopefully, of the nicest red ones, and potentially even if there's other females and they're kind of red, you know, at that point I might as well keep them, might as well breed them, and produce some nice red crested geckos. Because red crested geckos are really hot. People love them. They sell for a lot of money, and I think I can definitely produce some nice ones, because you guys, if you saw the last video, I put pictures of the parents in there and they are just stunning. Now onto my gargoyles. So this has a little bit of backstory. If you guys will remember, I did have 1 egg in my monster incubator, and I did candle it just the other day. It looked like it had a lot of time left to go, so I was just kind of like, oh well, it's kind of cold in my house and it needs more time, yada yada yada, whatever. And then the next day it hatched, so I had a baby gargoyle. There's pictures on my Instagram. It's linked down below if you want to check it out. It's pretty recent, but I did have a coworker who wanted to buy it, so it was only 2 or 3 days old when I sold it. I know a lot of people would frown upon that, but he's experienced with crested geckos. I let him know, I said, hey, you know, it is very young, you know, there's always a chance of something going wrong, but he was confident, and you know, if he's confident, I'm fine. If he's you know, I told him I'm not taking responsibility in that point, and it's fine. I trust him. I think it'll be all fine. But I gave him a deal since it was so young, and of course I did want to keep it. You know, I always would like to have a second female gargoyle gecko, but we are moving soon, and definitely help with my car registration. So gargoyles are selling really hot right now. You know, wholesale is like $200, $225 for a gargoyle. And, you know, 2 months went by from that first egg and the baby hatched out. Actually, it was, you know, a couple days earlier than 2 months, and she laid a second egg. So it's kind of weird that she skipped a month. I'm sure it was just because it was cold and everything's starting to get back to laying. But then again, she also laid just 1 more egg. It is brand new. I did candle it, and it is in the incubator. So 2 more months, we'll see another baby gargoyle, and hopefully this one will keep. If it's really ugly, we'll see, but I'll at least keep it for a little while and kind of let it grow out a little bit, see if I like it or not. But this project, I'm excited because I want more gargoyles. I'd love to have, you know, a 3rd female, and maybe even pick up a nicer male or something like that, or maybe a nice female red stripe to go with my male. Now this girl is definitely one of my favorites. This is my female Vietnamese blue beauty snake. She's definitely eating like a champ. She is killing extra large mice right now. She's growing like crazy. You can definitely see some of that pink skin underneath her scales. Definitely strange. You can see the skin. You can see it's pink, and then it's white, and it's black underneath the scales. Definitely different. But she's a lot better than my male. I'm not even going to take the male out. He's down there. But she's definitely... They're rat snakes. You know, there's a reason I don't hold them very often. She's eyeing me. I'm kind of worried she will bite me at this point. But these are really my favorite snakes. And, you know, there's a couple people out there that have really nice blue lines. I'd love to eventually pick up a pair of those. But right now there's not the money for it, and there's like a 5-year wait for those. Okay, I was thinking I was getting tagged right there, but Yep, this is my beautiful girl. So I don't think she'll breed next year. I could be wrong, but if she doesn't breed next year, I'm pretty positive she'll breed the year after, which will be um, late 2022, early 2023. And yeah, I'm gonna put her back because she's climbing up my arm slowly but surely. Now this is my female het albino California king snake. She's got what's called a dot dash pattern. Now she's definitely not breeding size. I'm hoping next year, just like that Blue Beauty, next year or the following year she'll get there. Now I did have a visual female, so I have a pair of hets, and I did have a visual female, and she definitely would have been ready. I don't know if the male would have been ready, but she definitely would have been ready. She was eating like a champ. She might have bred this year, honestly, but I was offered really good money for her, especially for what I paid at a year old, so I did sell her. Kind of regretting that right now, but you know, I'm sure the money went to good use. I'm sure some of these projects I only have because I used that money and invested it otherwise. But so the problem with having just a pair of hets is 3/4 of the babies will be normal, and you know, of course, out of that 75% of the babies that are normal, 50% of them will be possible. Well, 50% will be het, but you won't be able to tell. So I'll have 25% that are normal, 50% that are normal but are het, so you won't be able to tell those apart, and 25% visual. So I'm definitely going to keep a male visual and probably all the female visuals that come out. And anything that is a het will either be gifted to someone or donated or, you know, used in some way or another. Or, you know, I'll figure out something. But these guys are really awesome, California king snakes. I have heard from the guy I got them from that this specific clutch that produced these hets, this pair of hets, they're all really slow eating and really slow growing. Now they eat almost every week, but I don't really push them that much because I'm just not super worried about this project. This project's not really intended to make a bunch of money. It's just a project I enjoy, and it's one of those where when it does produce babies, you know, I could make $100 off a baby, and I could make 12 babies a year. So it's not anything crazy, but it's one of those that just kind of helps out. You know, I can't always sell super expensive animals. Now, speaking of which, I don't know if I said this in the last video, but I did just sell a Black Knight, Super Snow Black Knight double het blizzard clips, and it was, I want to say this one right here. I have two males, and I want to say it was this one. And I did advertise there was piebalding on the legs, but I spoke with the guy who wanted to buy it down in San Diego. I forget his last name, but it is, you know, I'm not even going to say his name because he probably doesn't want me to say it. Real nice guy, super interested. We're shipping it tomorrow, and it's got piebalding on the arm. So I said, hey, you know, it's a het. You know, it's a visual eclipse to something that shouldn't be a het, but it's possible. I said, it's got visual piebalding. And he said, you know, I understand. I read the description. I understand the pairing, but he wants it anyway. So we're shipping that out Monday. That's awesome. It's definitely going to help out. Money's probably going to be used, honestly, for another gecko rack. Either a thermostat, but definitely a new thermostat, and either a gecko rack or a snake rack. We'll see in the future. Probably gecko rack, because I think I'm going to need that this year. The snakes I can honestly keep in tubs, which I don't want to do, but we'll see. Maybe I'll just end up getting a vision rack, and I'll put snakes in one half and geckos in the other. Now this is a project I didn't think I'd be super excited for, until I started picking up two females. These are from my buddy Glenn, who I work for. He actually gave me one of my females for free because he knew I was in the project, and he had a couple extra. So this here is what they call an ice tessera, and ice is just lava and anery, and tessera is just that stripe pattern down the back. Now this snake may also be hypo. If it's not a visual hypo, it's most likely a het, and it's also possibly het diffused. These are just some genes that he knows are in his project. So I have another female. So this male is actually just over a year old, and I have a female that's the exact same genetics, but she's most likely a hypo and het diffused, and her tessera stripe is actually very, very clean. It's the one I picked out of the egg. And then Glenn also gifted me what was an anery. So anery, tessera, het lava, het hypo, possibly het diffused. So 2 to 3 years I'll have these babies, which are awesome, and they're corn snakes, so they don't sell for a lot, but these guys will sell for, you know, 150 to 200, and I'll have a trio. So it'll be real awesome to have some awesome babies. And I just love, I don't know what it is, but snakes with stripes are just awesome to me. You know, the Blue Beauty's got the stripe, these got the stripes, the California King Snake's got stripes. I just love the stripe. And if you've seen, I have the reverse Okities. If you've seen reverse Okitee with tessera in it, I'm going to put a picture up. It just looks awesome. It looks like ketchup and mustard, honestly. Reminds me of McDonald's, but those are awesome. Alright, and last but not least are my leopard gecko projects. Now, honestly, I could go over all of these because I have many, you know, exciting projects that I'm personally excited. These are projects I've been in for, you know, a year or two, and they're just, you know, I put all my heart and soul into these projects. Everything else in the reptile room is awesome, and everything's bound to make money. But, you know, besides like the lily white and the gargoyles, not too much else is going to make a ton of money. Leopards is really where I'm going to make the bulk of my income. So I'm just going to briefly go over some of these. Of course, I'm going to make some more tug snows. And these are just going to be, you know, wholesale snows. They're not going to be anything special. I'm going to make a bunch of normals out of it. This project, I'm going to make some more super snow radars and white and yellow radars and all that kind of stuff. This project is what I'm most excited for. Apex, look at how dark he looks right now. He's super dark right now. I don't know if that's because he knows he's cool and he's going to be breeding or what, but him to down here with these two, these are two of his offspring. So we're going to make some really, really beautiful Black Knight, Snow Black Knight, and Super Snow Black Knight eclipses that are het or pos het for Blizzard. And so these are 50% babies to the dad. So in theory, the baby's going to be 75%. And of course, they're hiding. But this girl is just very, very dark. I can't wait for her to breed. She's huge, by the way. She's one of the first babies to hatch out. And this one's actually really dark too. A nice super snow. And she's definitely getting some size on. Now, this project I'm excited for because these are the snow and super snow double het blizzard eclipses. So this project will be the project that will make the double visual. So I have 3 females and a double visual for a het. Double visual is 1 in 16, I believe. You know, correct my math if it's wrong down below, but I believe it's a 1 in 16. So let's say one of the females doesn't breed. This is being really cautious. Let's say one of the females doesn't breed. I have 2 females that breed. The first clutch of eggs is bad. The last clutch of eggs is bad. So let's just say total I have 20 eggs. 20 for a 1 in 16 chance I think is pretty good. I think we'll definitely hit it this year. I have high hopes. I'm usually pretty good with the odds. Knock on PVC. And then this project will make Black Knight eclipses. That's all it'll make is Black Knight eclipses and Snow Black Knight eclipses and Super Snow Black Knight eclipses, which is awesome because the visual eclipse is definitely something to keep. And you know, there is a big market for Snow and Super Snow Black Knights that have recessives in it. Everyone wants those. Everyone wants to add them so they can breed them. And you know, I'm gonna make some this year, and we're gonna keep the darkest ones, and then next year I believe I'll be throwing Apex back in that line and just really darken that line up. Now the very last project that I'm excited for is my Tangerine Tornado project. Just look at the head on that male. So he's super duper orange. He actually looks like he's about to shed. And he's not huge. This will be his first year, but he does have 2 females, of course, one really nice. And yes, I did get hides for all these finally. So hopefully he goes with this girl. She's definitely put on some size. I might wait a little bit after warming these guys up before I actually start breeding them. And then there's this girl who's still really small. It kind of depends on how much she weighs, but I do have plans to breed her. And this project really will produce some killer oranges. I'm definitely keeping 1, if not 2 females back from this girl and you know, this project can definitely have potential to make me a good chunk of money this year. You know, all the money goes either back in, it goes to other investments, it helps me pay off my car. You know, if I'm paying off my car, paying less in interest, and I'm able to put more money into my geckos. This is my first small business. Now the goal in the future is to have a couple businesses. This is just the first one. This is something I know if I put $500 into, you know, a pair of animals in an enclosure, I know that in 2 to 3 years I can easily double that money, which is like a 33% return every year on average. And then every year after that I can still make more and more money. And you know, this is what it's all about for me. It's about, you know, investing and working with animals and using my knowledge and my passion about animals to, you know, invest my money and make a great return. So that's going to be it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. You know, like I said, I sold that Black Knight. That's really awesome. You know, I also have James Reptile's masks. If you want one, they're $10 plus shipping. But other than that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It definitely helps out the channel. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.